question imeangusha watu wengi interview. But my name is Raymond Muthee. I'm a voiceover artist and a journalist. I don't need to say my age, but I'm fairly young. Yeah, I'm passionate about journalism and creativity, voiceovers. Generally, anything media is my line. It started a long way back. This was in 2017, towards the end of 2017. It started out as it was very funny because in primary school I used to mimic a lot of my teachers and their voices and how they walk and what they do. So in 2017, after I completed high school, I used to do a lot of tech stuff in high school. So we were invited for a tech innovation camp in Nairobi. I used to study in Nyeri, so I came over. And part of the tech assignment was to come up with an innovation. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, you'll be able to present your innovation to people. So my colleague, tulikuwa watu wawili, huyo mmoja mwenye tulikuwa tunafanya naye hiyo shughuli, hakuwa anaweza kuongea mbele ya watu. So akaniambia, leave the bulk of the work to me and then you do the presentation. So after presenting, someone walked up to me and everybody applauded after we presented whatever we had. We had actually created a drone that will put out fire. Anyways, yeah, so someone approached me and told me, you know what, you have a very powerful voice. Do something with it. It can make you a lot of money. And then some other guy pia akaniambia, let me just link you with someone who does documentaries and then you'll pick it up from there. So akanilink na huyo mtu hapo Ngong Road. Huyo jamaa naye akanilink na another guy who's a talent manager who now knows how the industry works. And from there, man, it was just up. I didn't sign up for the talent management though, because I consulted a few people here and there. Wakaniambia it's going to be a bit limiting for me at the beginning, so I didn't sign up. So after that, nikaanza tu kufanya polepole, starting to learn how it works. YouTube ilinisaidia sana. So from there nika pick up, started to know a few people here and there. Nikaanza kupost social media pia. Anza kupost watu wananiuliza, utanifanyia voiceover hivyo. So yeah, it's been what now 6 years. It is literally voice over X. X being film, photos, videos. So it is when you tune into your television set, wakati unawatch news, wakienda break, all those advertisements you hear, ziko na sauti. Hizo ndio voiceovers. If you watch a documentary, the voice behind that documentary. If you watch a news piece, the voice behind that news piece, all that is voiceover. If you listen to radio, all those advertisements, all those brandings za radio, unasikia 98.5, sijui nini, all that is voiceover. So voiceover is basically audio that is meant to complement video. Sometimes it goes alone, but it is meant to complement other aspects of production, to color a production, and to kind of bring information. Kama kuna vitu zingine ziko kwa video huwezi ona. So hizo vitu zinaelezewa na the voiceover. So that is what voiceover is. Oh, there's a difference. In fact, voice acting is more of an art. Voiceover is an art pia, but voice acting, if you listen to the word acting, whatever comes into mind is someone playing someone else, someone playing a character, someone playing, a character somewhere in a movie or something. So voice acting ni you take the script and read in the character of someone else. Say you're an elephant in a movie. You have to embody your voice to be big and ikue humongous. Yani tukisikiza tunasikia this is an elephant. But voiceover is quite general because there's documentaries, there's commercials, there's radio, there's TV, e-learning, name it, audiobooks, all that is voiceover. But voice acting is more specific towards films, animations, cartoons, movies, all that. There's a thin line. Because once in a while, when you're doing projects, you'll realize kuna clients wanataka you are 20 years old. Alafu sasa, they want you to play a 30-year-old man. but it is not a character. It is just they want that sound, that voice yako sound kama ya mzee wa 30 years. So it's a thin line between voice acting and voiceover, but I consider myself a voice actor because that now gives me the umbrella ya kuweza act either in commercials, documentaries, ama cartoons and what, yani hiyo category yote. I'd consider myself a voice actor, but I rarely do characters mostly. Wanafanya mostly commercial and documentaries. Oh my goodness, every single day. Every single day. In fact, even the people who I work with, some of them, even the producers, don't even believe. Someone will tell you, uko wapi kuja urecord, anakuita, alafu ukiingia anakwambia, ni wewe, alafu nakuwekea mic ndo hiyo, record. Ukianza kuongea ako like, what? So, every single day. I mean, people, unajua in the normal human mind, una expect mtu ako na sauti mzito is somewhere in the height of an athlete or something. Ama mtu anacheza rugby or something. But not necessarily. In fact, those people with big bodies mostly have very tiny voices. Yeah. So most of the time, what we need, people don't believe that that's my voice. Not really. Not really. Unajua voice, people forget that voice acting, ama voiceovers, they're not about your voice. It's about how well you can bring out the message that is before you, as in the script. Kuna script zingine ukisikiza, like if you listen to commercials, I'm not trying to taint anybody's image, but if you listen to commercials, you'll be able to tell which commercial is more understandable and which one is not. There's a commercial that utasikiza unashangaa na try kuuza nini. But kuna ingine ukisikia tu at first try, unajua ana try kuuza either unga ya ugali or something. It really doesn't matter what kind of voice you have. It matters how well you can play whatever you have in your script and how well you can read it and convey the message. Kwa sababu mostly, voiceovers huwa zina complement other productions. Imagine if you are watching a 30-minute film without sound, and then now with sound and proper sound. So that is what voiceovers do. It's rarely about the voice. The voice adds the character, but it's rarely about the voice. Practice how to read first. Practice how to read properly. If you are reading Swahili, there are ways you pronounce words in Swahili. And forgive us sometimes because we all have our own accents. But if you're reading Swahili and English, particularly English is very specific kwa sababu kuna a lot of people when you are addressing in English. English is a global language. So practice how to read. Practice. In fact, there's nothing else about voiceovers. Just keep practicing. Every time you come across a piece of writing, just try and read it. Imagine you're reading it to an audience. Imagine you're reading it to someone who's listening to you on radio. Unajua nasemanga radio is theater of the mind. So if you practice, and then have the passion, and train yourself on extra skills kama editing. Hizo vitu tatu. Practice, have the passion, and train yourself on extra skills. More often than not, you'll need to edit your own voiceovers. You'll need to mix your own voiceovers. You'll need to master your own voiceovers. So it doesn't help to have a good voice and no skills. I have met a lot of people with good... In fact, I've met a lot of people, big voices. You probably had them on TV and radio, but they don't have the skill of production. But you see, the kind of clients they handle, work on a budget for all that. So they just call you, come to, like we're in Westlands, come to Westlands, whatever building, floor number fulani. There's a studio session for you. The creative director is waiting for you. Your talent manager is waiting for you. You go record and go. But sasa, if you're starting small scale pole, you have to have the skill. Kwa sababu pia all together it helps. Some of these people, production, hawawezangi get what you want from your voiceover. So yeah, and if you can, invest in a home studio. It helps. It's been a learning experience. Wow. Alafu, every day you meet people and they tell you have a brilliant voice. But if you sit back and look at what the voice is giving you, is like literally zero. I have done over 150 free voiceovers within my first, I think it has mefika so mbili by now. Within my second year, I used to do a lot of pro bono work. that is where the defining moment is, kwa sababu if you are able to pull out of pro bono work and actually make money out of the voice, hey, I don't think anything can stop you in this industry. Kwa sababu there is also a lot of middlemen, kuna a lot of agencies huko wanataka kuchukua voice yako, wamepewa budget ya 1 million alafu wanakupea 100,000. Unaget? So ilianza hapo. So I started by doing pro bono work, and then with the little monies, in fact I took a loan, by the way. I took a loan ya 10K. Nikabuy equipment ya 8,550. I remember to this day. And I set up a home studio. No sound treatment, no acoustic treatment. Hakuna kitu ilikuwa hapo. I just had a laptop and that studio. So I started pole pole. I started doing a lot of pro bono work for my studio, my radio, community radio ya my university, Most FM. I did a lot of branding hapo, station work, news zikiwa na promo ni mimi nilikuwa nafanya, just kujitolea just to try and learn. So I learned editing during that time, between 2018 and 2022, round up, ndio nilikuwa na learn a lot of things. By the way, learning does not stop in this industry, so I learned all that during that period. Alafu, from there I got my first job. Actually 2021, I got my first job. My first well-paying job was after COVID 2021. So after that nikabuy mic moja hatari sana. I thought it was hatari until I saw other people's mics. So nikabuy, kumbe nimekuja kuset up kale ka setup ka 10,000 ya kazi support mic ya 20K. Nikabidi ni buy other equipment. So from there ikabidi nianza kuongeza tu equipment, naongeza. So I forfeited my first setup, I went to my second setup. And sasa from there nikaanza kuona kumbe there's levels to this thing. There's microphones that you have, and all those technical specifications, if you look at them, they actually make sense because they help you in editing, in coming up with a final product, something clean yani. So most of the time people will not know what mic you use, but if you edit it properly, and someone who has experience in sound will know. So yeah, from there nika acquire equipment, started doing jobs here and there online, the websites. In 2017 I had signed up to all voiceover websites online. Nilikuwa na dream hata kama sikuwa na studio. So from there nikaanza kufanya online work. Ikakuwa consistent kabisa. So kuna high season na low season, so nikafanya kidogo between 2021 and 2022 hapo. So 2023 majorly imekuwa ni clients from my TikTok page. So from there sasa TikTok now started making sense. I got over 10K followers, 11K, says I think I'm at 11.5. All this is converting into money and people actually believing that they can give you a product and a voice. So that was a transition from doing local work to doing international work, and then back to local work, and then now a fusion. So I do both of them. Like if a project comes up international, I'm a local, it doesn't matter. And then there are people who call me and nimeona voiceover yako fulani, I want you to do that and that. So all that has been across the 6 years. There was a guy called Anto. Maze big up to Anto. Anto ali come through. He's a producer at Tamasha Band back in Nakuru. So he used to record for me my voiceovers, by the way. I remember at one time I had to nilimbeg by then ndio ni record. Nilikuwa na record, kuna one of those websites za voiceover, they give you a sample. So you record and then they see it and listen to it and tell you hapana, do another one. Sasa hizo ujue unalipia studio time. So unaenda unalipisha huko 1,500. Sasa hizo hata hauna hata do, wewe ndio unajaribu kuingia kwa website. Si ati upewe pesa, uanze sasa kutafuta kazi from the website. So you had ni kama unalipa ni kuundie CV alafu sasa uende ukatafuta kazi. So I started out na studios za watu. There's a guy called Jay in Nakuru, there's a guy called Anto, there's a guy called can't remember the other guy, but he's a musician pia. Huyo kwanza amecome through sana masaa ya rush hour. Project inakuja usiku saa 2 unamcall. So I started out just recording through other producers and really trying to tell them this is what I want it to sound like. Pia unawacha wanakudirect pia kwa sababu they've also produced other people. Yeah, before I got my setup, I used to record at other people's studios. I enjoy commercials any day, anytime, especially the radio. Oh my God, I enjoy doing radio work. kwa sababu radio work is very imaginative. Like you'd be talking about a packet of unga in a way that makes someone want to buy it right away. As in, I remember this one commercial was done by my friend Dan. He's from Standard Group. Yani anakuzia unga anakuzia unga mpaka unafeel ni kama it's like a holiday to somewhere huko Mauritius. Anakuzia unga yani, alafu for him he did it for TV. So akicombine that audio na the video, oh my god, it's just something else, something out of this world. Like you listen to his voice and imagine like he's talking about sijui the shores of Mombasa and sijui where in Diani. Man, but I enjoy radio work because radio is theater of the mind. So unaweza sikia kama ka advert fulani ka bank, sijui nani ameenda akashukishwa na matatu imeshikwa kwa sababu hawako wamelipa loan ya bank, alafu unasikia makanga anagonga sijui nini, and then they are talking banter hapa na pale. So I enjoy radio because it is very imaginative. It helps me put my voice in the middle of other voices and be able to be heard and put up something that people can relate to. Yeah. Basically starts from the script. But they don't rush to record kama hujaelewa script. So I start by reading the script. Huwa inatuma either via mail, WhatsApp. Najua there's a lot of communication models. And then there are people who will give you a physical script. So you read the script, understand what the client wants. Hata kama si a client, just read and understand. If it's a documentary about South Africa, for instance, you're talking about the Zulu cultures, nini. Already kwa kichwa yako unajua, somewhere in the audio there will be some drums. There will be some trumpets za elephant. There will be some music huko. You can hear a car passing in a jungle or something. So I start by reading the script and then understanding what the client wants. And then this is very important. Maji. I take a lot of water. I think that I had asked for maji before even we began. I take a lot of water because it helps keep your throat in check. So kuna tu vocal exercises hapa na pale. You read the script, vocal exercise, alafu you take some water, warm water with lemon ama ginger. It helps. It's a practice I've adopted juzi because it helps calm you down. Especially if you're recording long things like audiobooks. Hizo huwa zina kustretch kabisa. So unakuta unafika katikati, unahema, your voice is almost disappearing. So as in, after that, kisha kunywa maji, alafu ume-internalize script, you hit record. So I set up my session on Adobe Audition. I use Adobe Audition. I have a couple of other softwares, but I prefer Audition. And then I set up, check levels za mic na interface. And then make sure there's no child screaming in the background, because that will be definitely hard in the kind of equipment I use is very sensitive. So it will hear hata kama that noise ya sijui ni construction wako nayo or something. Kama pikipiki, you'll hear it. So just that, you set up the session, alafu na record. Alafu listen to those parts zenye hujafanya poa, unarudia, alafu start editing. If the client needs you to master or mix, unatafuta sound effects, you pull sound effects from everywhere, you mix them vizuri. Kama penye kuna music unai-lower penye unaongea or something. As in vile tu nikisikiza, I'll be able to hear what you're saying and be able to relate. Kama ni, like I was saying, kama ni documentary unasikia ka upepo kana blow, alafu technology has advanced, unaweza sikia hata upepo ikiblow from, kama umevaa headphones utasikia right to left, so utajua hiyo ni a wind yenye na blow from right to left. Kama ni gari inaweza pita hivyo. So you do all that, alafu unaweka music, and then you master it. Kama inaenda radio, there's a certain technical volume you put or something like that. So it helps. That's why I was saying about skills. Kwa sababu kama una skills, you'll stop at recording, and then you'll pay someone else to do the mixing and mastering, which you don't really need to. Yeah. Kuna hata ingine nilifanya juzi, my goodness. Yani unasoma script. I remember I slept. There's a time I actually didn't sleep. Just recording peke yake, hata hujaanza kuedit. Umerecord kutoka saa 1 huko all night mpaka asubuhi. I think it was this is unedited. Unedited was around, I think, 2 hours. 2 hours ukiongea tu. Unajua 2 hours ndio uongee 2 hours na uongee everything perfectly, means unaongea ukirudia. It was crazy. Hiyo time nilimaliza, I used to have a collection of ndimu hapo. Nilimaliza I think ndimu 3 na maji yote yenye nilikuwa nayo iliisha. Hey, sometimes it was about farming na I think some technology about farming. Hey, it's very interesting. Sometimes I read things kwa script mpaka nawacha kwanza kurecord, naanza kusoma sasa script. Like there's a time I got a voiceover ya what is this? United Nations. So I'm reading the script and I'm actually realizing it's about I think about orphans or something. So nasoma nashanga ati sijui which country has this number of, I was like, really? As in, you even now move away from the script and you're like, what? This is actually happening. So at times it helps kwa sababu unasoma, you're like, at least hata Kenya ikitajwa mahali kwa hiyo voiceover, you can relate. Wakisema tulienda mahali fulani Kenya, you can see it in your head kwa sababu you've been there. Sometimes it's just beyond the voiceover. Alafu those are the types zenye you nail the script kwa sababu unakuta una relate. Unakuta unaelewa hapo, unasikia ni kitu unaweza elewa, ni kitu una relate. In fact, this is a trend in every industry, artificial intelligence. Hata nimeona, I was just looking through my email size tu, nimeona one of my agencies wamenitumia training. Wamesema they'll have a training later in the month about artificial intelligence in voiceovers. There's been this trending story about sijui which company, I won't say it, it's a big company, wanatumia AI kwa billboards, wanatumia artificial intelligence, yani kwa adverts. So unakuta hata voiceover, role ya voiceover artist inamezwa na AI, as in you can just feed a script na ikupe voiceover. See, that's one of the biggest threats. Even as it is a trend, it is one of the biggest threats, but it also has the other side ya kuscript. Unaona kuscript, sometimes you don't really want to sit there and start thinking, how do I connect this phrase to this phrase? You just tell the AI, this is my client, anauza viatu, anauzia Kamukunji stall number sijui what, namba yake ndio hii na iko Nairobi. Put this together as a voiceover script. And it puts together and you read it. And some of my favorite scripts that nimefanya lately, they have been put together by AI. It's a win-win, but hey, bana AI ikichukua job yetu si tumeisha walai. In fact, as part of production, it is important for hizo production aspects zote zifanywe in a round table. Unaona kama vile tumeketi hapa. Kwa sababu more often than not, voiceover artists usually get lost in the mix. Kwa sababu client anakuja last minute anasema, we have this video, I will look at this video, this is the voiceover we have, the script we have, and we want you to match the audio, the audio to the video, and this is what we want you to say, and this is the emotion. Can you imagine being told 20 seconds, ukuwa umeongea this amount of words, in this way, in this emotion? It's almost impossible. But we hack it, because I've done a lot of work kama hizo. But I appreciate international jobs kwa sababu mostly utapata producer anakuja anakuambia, we have a Zoom session with the client at 9 p.m. So kwa hiyo live session, producer atakudirect, client atakuambia what they want and what they feel you should do there. Alafu na wewe pia, you put in your creative energy. So at the end of the day, the whole aspect of production, kila mtu alikuwa ameketi ndani ya the Zoom session. So there's no loss at all. So I think it is very important to incorporate your voiceovers kwa production. I think story ya equipment is very expensive. Equipment is so expensive. I got my last mic for over 30 Gs. Na ni mic tu peke yake. You have to buy interface. Interface ni over 20 Gs, depending on the quality you want. Kuna monitors, kuna headphones. There's preamps and all that. Equipment is very expensive. So for starters, you might find it hard. But saizi kuna very cheap options. But in the long run, you might want to upgrade. So hiyo point ya ku-upgrade hapo ndio noma ukua. Alafu, voiceover has not been fully accepted as an art in our country right now. It is very limited. Like if I told you, nitajie, you know me, apart from me, nitajie 2 voiceover artists. Kuwasikia tu. Like if you, ule jamaa anafanyanga voiceover ya, unaget. Si kama vile nikikwambia tell me an actor in Kenya, you'll tell me hata a whole list, hata wenye wako Netflix. So hiyo challenge pia. Alafu we don't yet have a proper union for voice artists. There's one, but it's, I don't know, it's just, I think it plays by the book too. It's called African AVA or something, can't remember. Sasa hao wana set 2 rates. The other thing, hapo kwa rates, clients don't understand the value of a voiceover. Ama a voiceover artist. Kuta mtu anakuambia, sini kuongea tu. Siuongee tu, sini nakupea maneno ya kusoma, siusome tu. But they don't understand that it takes so much kusoma in a way that it will be appealing to people, in a way that you'll be able to mix it vizuri to sell the product that you're taking. So your equipment, your co-appreciate as an art, na rates. Hey, hapo kwa rates. Kwa sababu kama the union will set rates. It's called KECAMTWA, Kenya Casting Models Talents Welfare Association. Hey, Kenya Casting Agents Models Talent Welfare Association. So unakuta wana set rates, wanakwambia one voiceover ya radio ni, just a rough figure, I won't say it. Rough figure, tuseme one voiceover ya radio ni 40K. Ya, na isipite 30 seconds. Ikipita 30 seconds, tunalipisha per second sasa, ama per 5 seconds. Alafu ukienda kwa budget ya client, anakuambia, and it's a big client, anakuambia, sasa, mi hata hiyo 40 sina, niko na 20K. Sasa unaona, the union cannot even help you at this point, kwa sababu ni wewe na client, ama wewe na agent na client. Na you all have to make money. One has to save money, all of you have to make money. So, hapo kwa union, I think we need to get serious. You see how doctors usually have a union? If anything goes wrong, they are up together in arms. Teachers have unions. Yani, voice artists bado hatujafika hapo. Surprisingly, in like countries like the USA, they have unions. They even have awards in those unions. And they have negotiating rates, like standard rates. Hakuna client anaweza lipa chini ya hiyo. Na hata ukienda chini ya hiyo utapata voice artists, kwa sababu they are all in the union. So, hapo particularly. Let's invest more in it. Let us have, vile tu tuko na, there was that initiative by the government to have studios in every ward. Why not? Kama kuna, if you go to any town saizi, in fact, by the way, hizi vitu zilikuwa in the first government, I think Kibaki's government and Moi's government. Ukienda kuna theaters, kuna KNT, ukienda Nakuru kuna Players Theatre, Nakuru Players Theatre. All these places have theaters where people can go and showcase their art. Why can't we have the same for voiceovers? Why not? I mean, kukuwa tuna studio, ama government contract independent studios to source for talent. There's a lot of government adverts that run on TV daily, on radio daily. These are talents that can be tapped locally. So the government should consider maybe investing in that art. Vile tu we have stadiums. We have so many resource centers for other talents, but we don't have one for voiceovers. And I think that's an area the government should look at. We don't even need that money. No, we don't need money, because the money is in the market. All we need is that studios. Unaweza kuja place kama hii ni record, nisaidiwe kuedit, ni learn how kuedit, you get. Alafu unaona hii platform yenye unasema ya online yenye unaweza pata jobs za digital yenye the CS was talking about, 119,000 jobs zimecreatiwa from a platform. Out of those 119,000, I can tell you for sure, just about 50% ni za data entry, nini, all that office work, lakini you will not find creative services kama voiceovers. Why? There needs to be that much. And if you go online, there's tons and tons of clients online. So many of them looking for voice artists. Might not be particularly in the voice, in the language that you are specializing in, but there is a lot of work. The government should bridge that gap. Yeah. I would say sometimes there's a very thin line between international and local jobs, but mostly international jobs will pay better. Why? Because they appreciate talent. So unaweza pewa hata 2 words usome, wanakupea $40. $40 is, saizi na hii rate ni around 6 or 7 Gs. Who will give you 2 words to read in Kenya with 7,000 shillings? Hakuna. So that is a real situation on the ground. There are people who make a lot of money from local jobs through agencies, but there is even more money through international jobs. Like, how would you tell me a young man like me from an unknown village deep in Shamata in Nyandarua County, voicing for the United Nations? It can only be international levels that will get you to that point. Yeah. Yeah, I get so many requests on a daily. In fact, at a jana, someone texted me. The previous day, 2 people texted me. The other day, I think two people badwal in text. I try. Whenever I can, I try. But I've not been consistent with that because I have a lot of other things that I'm doing, other things that I'm pursuing personally. But I have a friend who does that. His name is Henry Mwangangi. Shout out to him. He's a dope voice artist. He's a dope voice. I think hata kuna ads zake kama mbili zinaran saizi kwa TV. So he does that. Mimi bado sijafika hapo. I used to partner with him once in a while, but bado. I've not considered that fully because I don't want to invest my time in too many things and be unable to be a master of any. So I help whenever I can. Ukiniambia utanipigia, niko na hii setup yangu imekwama mahali fulani, nisaidie nini, I help you. Kama niko na hii script nafaa kucharge aje, I'll give you a rate according to my rates, what I feel is fair for you. Niko na hii job naambiwa nifanye kitu fulani, nita voice aje, get. Niko na hizi audio, hebu review niambie what I should improve. I do that once in a while. Maybe in the future I'll do it professionally through a consultancy. But yeah, I do once in a while. TikTok ilianza tukimcheza by the way. I was idle. I was working at KBC at the time. By the way, ni nani hajapitia KBC mwenye ako kwa media sai? Hata kama ulipitia tu hapo nje, bado ulipitia. So I was working at KBC. I used to have a lot of free time. Kwa natoka around saa 4. Around saa 4 asubuhi. So from saa 4 mpaka jioni until the following day. And you remember we had shifts. So unaenda leo, kesho hauendi. Hey, you have more than 24 hours. So mi nika set up I had the studio at home tu, nika set up. I used to stay hapo Hurlingham. So nika set up the studio. And I just, nikaona hii kitu inakuwa trend. At that time ilikuwa fairly new. So I just joined and took my voiceover ya kitambo, nika voice nikaweka hapo. Haikudu poa. Haikuwa na video yangu. Ilikuwa tu, ilikuwa video. Nilikuwa nimetoa, I used to post on YouTube. So nilitoa YouTube nikaweka hapo, haikufanya poa. So nikasema wacha leo, let me just record myself vile huwa nafanya. Hey, from there, it blew up. Yani, nikafanya like 2-3 videos. The 4th one, the views were crazy. I think over 400K. People liking, nini, sharing. Yani, I just slept, nikasema, I'll just check tomorrow. Where? In the morning, hadi simu ilikuwa ina hang. So, from there sasa nikaanza tu kuzifanya consistently. Lately nimeslacken kidogo, but nilikuwa nazifanya consistently. Na post hapa a documentary, kesho na post TV advert, kesho na post TV imaging. In fact, some of these jobs are not even paid. Hizi ni jobs tu nasema tu wacha ni record tu an audio, ama hata na script mwenyewe na mix na master alafu naweka. So someone calls me and tells me, in fact it is Peter Kamau. Peter Kamau is a star in the movie, is it a film? Selena. It is a TV series and it was Selena. Right now, he called me at that time. Akaniambia, hey bro, ni aje, nimeona you're doing really good voiceovers. I want us to meet and you help me with the voiceover. I'm Peter Kamau. Right. So mi nika hang up afterwards. Nikangoja, alisema ni Peter Kamau. Nikarudi mbio kuangalia Peter Kamau. And then nikamcall, nikamwambia you're Peter Kamau, like the Peter Kamau. Akaniambia, yes, I'm Peter Kamau, I'll meet you. Hey, I was starstruck. As in, people will just call me randomly. So my first job ilikuja tu hivyo. Someone just called me and told me, nimeona voiceover yako, utanilipisha aje? From there sasa wakaanza kuniambia, utafanya nini, nitakufanya hii, nitakufanya hivyo. I've gotten some dope clients from TikTok. Returning clients. Unajua clients wa TikTok ni wale watu watarudi, they'll always come back. There are people who will come and tell you, I don't have a budget for this job. So how much will you charge me? Ama mwingine anakuambia, I have this much. Nimetafuta voice artist nimekosa. Will you do this for me? And sometimes you look and say, you know what? Let me just do it. Alafu, it stops at the client. So when a client, it doesn't mean that ukipatia client na hii rate, everybody else will know the rate. So that's just how TikTok will convert into money for me. I'm not paid directly by TikTok, but I make money through TikTok. Radio adverts na radio imaging, because people love these things. Watu wanasikia tu 98.4 sijui nini nini, lakini watu hawajui ni nani yako behind these things. So when they see that, hey, people like it. People like seeing behind the scenes. Yeah. So when you do that, as in wase wanapenda sana. So me, that one has worked for me. And for adverts, people love to see how adverts come together. So I'm considering taking a deeper dive into TikTok just to show people how these things come together. Maybe talk to a few studios here and there. But your behind the scenes is very nice for TikTok because people love seeing, and there's a lot of traffic on TikTok. So take advantage of it. Hakuna story ingine, by the way. Practice and take time to learn as many skills as you can in production. I was fortunate enough to have studied graphic design, a bit of computing, video editing. These are things I used to do in school because I have studied journalism. But audio production, I think it is by far the most priceless skill I have gained. Audio production and music. I sing, by the way, and I read music. So I think your skill set, don't ignore the skill set. Your skill set, your audio production, it is priceless. If you can be able to, I've seen people record multi-million voiceovers in their closet and edit, and then they go on air all over the world. I mean, there's no limit to what you can learn. So your skill set, now practice now. Just learn as much as you can. I think it all comes in a consistency. Success is not achieved at you sit and start achieving success. It is the little things. In fact, I'll answer that in one line. The magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. So do the work. The magic will happen. So I think for me, I wish I had told myself hivyo kitambo. Because I am a dreamer. Mimi ni mtu, I sit up at night and just stare into this ceiling of my room and dream. And I can see myself in one of the most expensive studios in the world. And just dreaming too. I wish I had told myself younger, way back nikiwa younger, that it is, you can dream as much as you want, but you'll have to wake up and work for that dream and make it a reality. So the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. To me and to many other young people out there, the magic you're looking for is in the work you're avoiding. Everything that is great right now is built from scratch. Everything. I don't know. Sijui kama unajua story ya Airbnb. Hilton Hotel owns the most prime of lands in the world. Right now, they have hotels in every... Hata angalia kwenye wameka hoteli yao tao, penye walifunga. It's in the middle of CBD. How do you get such prime land? But Airbnb is bigger than Hilton. Airbnb does not own a single place in the world. So it is really about the work. And then creativity pia. Like Airbnb is linking people to rooms, linking people to rooms, and they pay a small fee. And then they're the biggest company right now in terms of hospitality. So, I mean, hii life inataka tu ujanja. And just do the work. Just do the work. Stop avoiding the work. Because that is where the magic is. Yeah. Dear Raymond, you are talented, you are great, you can achieve great things. Keep dreaming, but remember, the magic is in the work. So, yeah, man, here's to bigger heights, greater things, bigger productions, and multi-million studios. 5 years from now, you'll be a big deal. You'll be the most, you'll be unrecognizable in the media industry. You started out well, you're going on well, you're doing well, you're doing well. Keep doing the work, things will give.